Hi everyone, welcome back. We have a beautiful display of some flowers in front of us. We know that oftentimes spring is when some flowers like to bloom, but there are also some beautiful summer bloomers out there as well. Don Kinsler with NDSU is here to explain these beautiful arrays that you have in front of us. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Always great to be here. And of course, the height of summer is the time when certain perennials are just at their peak. And so I thought it'd be fun to show some of these that are at their peak. So first of all, let's start with roses. Now, many of the roses bloom heavily in June, but there are some types that continue bloom throughout the summer. And I cut all these this morning. And some of my favorite roses are ones that were developed in Canada. And local garden centers sell these. And the thing that I like about the Canadian shrub-type roses are they do not need winter protection.
Oh,
so these
good.
roses I don't cover. They do get snow catch. You know, plant them in an area that we get good snow cover. But each of these roses, for example, this one called Morden Blush, developed in Morden, Manitoba, and Canada Shield is the red one. Ooh. And we've got one called Morden Sunrise. Just look at the colors on some of that. The colors are just so intense on that. Morden Sunrise, well named.
Yes.
Another one of my favorites is one called Campfire, developed in Canada. And Campfire, a wonderful name. Look at all the different color shades on the same shrub, the same bush.
That is from the same?
Yep. This is one cluster from the same rose bush.
That's
Campfire.
Beautiful.
And again, it's a Canadian developed rose, fully winter hardy for our zones 3 and 4. And so I don't cover them. They get about 3 to 4 feet tall. So wonderful Canadian developed roses.
Yeah.
Now, many of the shrub roses don't have much fragrance, but one of my favorite shrub roses is this one called Canada Blooms. Canada Blooms.
Just
a
beautiful
wonderful pink shade, and it has a little more fragrance than some of them.
Ooh,
yeah, so it has a really nice aroma. So local garden centers do sell these Canadian developed roses, and so I really encourage people, if you haven't tried those, then do so. Wonderful roses in such an assortment of colors.
And so this is not a rose. What are we talking about here?
So our next perennial, and when we refer to perennial flowers, of course, we refer to those that come back each year from a winter hardy root system. And so this perennial flower is called tall garden phlox. Now, as you and I talked before the segment here, there is a creeping phlox that blooms in May, and that stays low growing and spreads outward. But the tall garden phlox blooms in the middle of summer here, in July and August. Comes in a variety of colors, such as white, this beautiful two-tone pink. There's a purple lavender one there. So tall garden phlox, a fairly carefree perennial and beautiful. So it can be used at the kind of towards the back of the perennial flower garden.
And then I just want to, for people who know creeping phlox, like we talked about, this will not take over your garden.
Yeah, exactly. Creeping phlox, the name is descriptive. It'll creep along, but the tall garden phlox stays in a clump. Nice.
Very nice. Okay.
Clump.
Wonderful. And so over here, a lot of folks know what these look like, and they might even have them. We're talking lilies.
Lilies. Now, there are two types of lilies, or things that have lily in the name. The first type that we're going to talk about is the true lily that grows from a bulb, like an onion. They arise out of those. This is one called Rising Moon. And get the aroma of that.
That's a good one.
Very strong and so very nice, fragrant. So the true lilies that grow from a bulb are just absolutely beautiful. And there's different colors, different assortments. So another good hardy perennial. The other perennial, and I brought a large assortment of
beautiful assortment of colors.
The other perennial of those that has lily in the name is Daylily. But now Daylily arises from just a fleshy root. They don't come from a true bulb. But the daylily arises from like I say, a fleshy root, and the leaves all come from kind of one central point. As opposed to the true lily, the leaves kind of come all along the stem. So let's talk a little bit about daylilies. Now, some of us are familiar, I guess most of us, familiar with the little daylily, Stella d'Oro.
The small little yellow flower.
That is in front of every bank and every dentist office.
Everything. It's in front of everything. Yeah.
But there's so much more. The varieties that I brought of daylilies are the taller growing type with the much larger blossom. For example, this one, a beautiful daylily, and the name is wonderful, Buttered Popcorn.
Oh,
Buttered Popcorn.
That's beautiful.
Isn't that a great Now,
Yeah.
a daylily, each blossom only lasts 1 day, but take a look at the number of buds on that. Just so many. And so even though each blossom only lasts a day, there's so many yet to open.
That it will constantly bloom. And these are all beautiful, and we could talk about this forever, but I want to make sure that we mentioned NDSU has a day coming up where you can learn about all things gardening.
We do. Once a year, the NDSU Horticulture Plant Science Department has a campus field day, and that is this coming Tuesday, August 9th, at 3 in the afternoon. Now, the campus horticulture display gardens are on the west side of campus at the corner of 12th Avenue. So as you come over the big overpass.
Over the railroads, yep.
Over the railroads, and 18th Street. So as soon as you get over the overpass there on 12th Avenue, 18th Street, just take a left and the display gardens are right there. So this coming Tuesday from 3 o'clock on, we've got displays of annual flowers, perennial flowers. I'll be giving a talk on how to prepare your lawn and garden for late summer and fall, and there's many other things, lawn demonstrations, fruit displays, fruit tours, and so a little something for everybody this coming Tuesday at 3 o'clock.
All right, at NDSU, Don, thank you so much for coming on, bringing these beautiful flowers, gorgeous to look at.
Thank you.
Coming up on today's show, we will have your daily dose of motivation. Stick around.